feeling about that character. I got a real bad feeling. So let's talk about it. You're playing, a character. I know what Lupe Ontiveros did in the movie. She got a lot of actual hate. The sweetest woman I've ever met is Lupe Ontiveros. She was played a maid 300 times. And Lupe Ontiveros was a big champion in the Latino community in Hollywood, and we all loved her. And she played this character, Yolanda Saldivar. And she was the first time in her life where she would walk down the street and people would yell at her and say stuff. Because it's hard to play a bad person effectively and well. And at the same time, what happens is I find actors who are really nice play the best villains. They do. I find people that aren't nice do never want to play a villain. They never want to play a villain. But it's always the really good people. And I've known you for a while in Hollywood, and you've always been so kind and gracious and compassionate of other actors and people. And I see your work. When you got the role, what were you thinking?
Well, they told me I was going to be one of the stars in Selena, and I had auditioned also for the role of the sister. So I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, good. And then they told me, you're going to play Yolanda. I'm like, oh, my God. But, the actress in me was like, oh, my God, this is such an opportunity, so fascinating, such a troubled mind. And, I was, going into the psyche, and then the person in me was like, oh, my God. It's I was terrified. I was really scared because I have heard stories that she got stoned, fruit was thrown at her, and people would spit at her. So, but also, we're different times. That was the 90s. It happened 2 years right after Selena's death. So it was too soon kind of situation.
Well, people also don't recognize you in this, in this role. Because you see it, the whole difference. And plus, also, she's a lot taller than everyone in the show, and Yolanda was a short person. And so that's a bit of movie magic, how you see that everyone's taller than her in the scene.
Movie magic, I would call it Tai Chi magic, because I practiced Tai Chi for 3 years, and I was never more grateful that I did that, because twice during the show we were able to put what they call an apple cart, which is just an apple. It's just a box like a platform where you get to stand. But there were many instances where there was no space for an apple to raise her, because her and I are the same height when she has heels.
Yeah.
So I'm taller than her. So the point, I wanted to make sure that we knew that I was 5'1" and that she was 5'7", right, in real life. But there were difference. So I just did a Tai Chi squat most of the times. So you get to see, I'm like, oh, I was in a stand there. I get to see that, make sure that, because I like that part, that she was a lot taller, because it's almost like a Napoleonic, complex to me that she had.
When you started breaking down the character and you're working on this character, what discoveries did you find for yourself to play this character?
Well, the advantage that I have, television is super, super quick. Everything happens super fast. And we cast this, and we were right away, we're going to start shooting it. My character started to shoot in February 2020. And we shot the first part, the one with the nurse that you saw. That was the last episode of the first season. The second part, which was the most intricate part of the character, was shot after the lockdown. So I had this, I would say, enormous advantage that I would have not had otherwise, which was I got to read a lot. I got to inform myself a lot about her life, her biography. I went into library. I wanted to meet her, but then I realized that we learned that the producers of the show actually were, Selena's family, the sister and the dad. And we didn't want to create any tension and extra unnecessary
It's like the guy playing
friction.
Chapo Guzman right now for Narcos. He actually went to his trial and watched him, and Chapo knew that he was there. And at one point, Chapo looked at him. And it was sent chills through his body. It's a dangerous world because you're actually playing someone who's alive.